So if you could give us, and this is probably impossible, but I'm going to ask you anyway. If you could give us one top tip for a happy life, what would it be?
This one's actually easy for me.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it turns out that it's the tip that changed my life. So it makes it easier for me to pass it on, which is there was a book called Diamond Heart Book One. And it was a book I read about 10 years ago. And in it was a chapter on truth. And what this author offered was a little bit unconventional. And what he said was, we go out in the world and we chase things. And we think, oh, this relationship, that object, this job will make me happy, right? It will bring me the things I want. And he said, well, that's just the ego really just kind of going out there and saying, me, I want, right? That's really all it is. And yes, we might feel a little happier when we get the object that we wanted, but it doesn't really bring us happiness. And he said, so then more aware people, they go and they say, well, no, it's not so much the object I want, it's how the object makes me feel, right? I want to feel happy. I want to feel joy. I want to feel loving. I want to feel kindness. I want to feel abundant, right? All these things. And that's where kind of the law of attraction teachers take us. They go, don't focus on the object, focus on the feeling, right? But this author, he said, well, that's still at the surface. What we really want, if we're really honest, is truth. And the reason why is because if we don't know what truly makes us happy, we'll chase the idea of happiness, not what actually brings us happiness. If we chase the idea of love, of money, of abundance, of whatever these feelings are that we want, if we chase these ideas, we are still sitting in the ego space of saying, this is what will give me the thing that I want, and I know it better than God, the divine, the universe. I know it better than the present moment. And so, in my experience, pursuing the truth of something is what actually brings me the greatest delight, presence, and joy in my life. Because suddenly I realize that it's the mystery, it's the unknown, it's the adventure. It reveals to me that, what is actually making me happy. Let's just go back to the two things that bring me the most joy professionally: the miracle store and business coaching, two things I had no interest in, right? It wasn't where I was going in my life. And if those had showed up and I just kept, and for part of the time I was pushing the business coaching. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, right? That's not what I'm here to do. Because my idea said, this is not what will bring me happiness. This is not what I should be doing, right? All that kind of mind traps that we get caught into. And so when I finally was like, no, people are asking this of me, and if I'm honest, I actually enjoy it, then it suddenly changes the whole energy from this thing I'm pushing away because I think it won't make me happy and I'm trying to get this happiness thing over here, to saying, oh, this is what actually brings me happy. The truth led me to my joy. The truth led me to something new that I can do today to serve people in a way that I never did before. And the same is true in our lives. If we attach to a certain idea about how a job should be, or an object, whatever this object is, we want the feeling, and I hope you forgive me, the idea of happiness, right? I mean, that's everything you're about, right? But underneath it is the reality that we can't just say, oh, this object will make me happy, now I'm happy. I want to go get this, I want a job that makes me help others, so I'm going to do everything I can to get that. But when we aren't honest with ourselves and in the present moment about what genuinely is making us happy right here, right now, then it's just our mind trapping us where it thinks we should go, instead of using our mind as a laser focused tool to say, this present moment is showing me what makes me happy. Yeah. Why don't I listen to that for a moment and then allow that to lead me forward into the happiness? So for me, it's all about truth, whether it's the truth of what makes me happy, whether it's the truth of the work that's coming my way and just being like, this works, this doesn't. In my business, I try all kinds of things, right? That's part of why I'm good, great as a business coach, is because I'll try Facebook advertising, Pinterest advertising, email marketing. I'll try Google and Yahoo and, all these other things. And then I go, what actually worked? And then I come back of this worked. Okay, what's the essence? Why did that work? What's the truth of why this works? Now let's go do something. I do that with, personal development teachings. I'll study this teacher, this book, that idea. Then I'll go test it. And I'll be like, what actually is happening here? Is this working? Is this producing the results that this teacher, book, path says that, the results will be? And then I can compare, right? Once I know what works, then I can be like, yes, I'll do that again. And I will avoid the thing that doesn't work. But if someone just says, hey, I teach happiness, and I go follow them, well, it's awesome to follow a path and a teacher. And I think everybody should do that kind of commitment, as long as they're present with themselves and really looking at what's working for them. Because then they'll say, oh, this path is awesome. I am all in. When I first started studying with a school called the Diamond Approach, I would go every weekend teaching. It was a 2 to 3 day teaching at a time. Every time I would go, and I tell the teachers, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. And they go, that's fine. See you next time, right? And I come back next time. I go, I still don't know if this is for me. After about 6 months, I looked back on my life and said, oh my, the changes are tremendous in my life. I'm all in. And then I studied for like 7 years. But it wasn't because I blindly followed a path. It's because I said, let's see what's true. And then when I did commit to a longer teaching, I still didn't blindly follow. But I showed up with the commitment every time to see what is true about this. And is this supporting me to be more true and authentic with myself?
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's completely subjective, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, people do say to me, because I'm quite I have quite a friendly, outgoing personality. I'll chat to people because I'm a content person and I'm confident in what I do and what I say and all of that. Brilliant, hurrah. But I do meet people who say to me, and they call me the happiness lady, and they say, oh, you just walk around with a big smile on your face all the time. And I do meet people who think that all I do is say to people, just smile, it's fine. They genuinely think that's what I do for my job. And I get challenged by people all the time saying, yes, but how do you know what happiness is? How can you teach other people to be happy when you don't know what happiness, what? And I say to them, well, it's completely subjective. What makes me happy might not make you happy at all, in the slightest. We're all completely different beings, aren't we? And we're all unique. And I think that's an awesome tip to give people and I do think there are a lot of people who blindly follow a teacher because so many other people follow that teacher or do and have the effect. But that's because that's true for them. Doesn't mean it'll be true for you, does it? So that's awesome. I love that. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Your truth, people. Follow your truth. There you go. Brilliant. Okay, so how do people find you? How do they find out more about you and what you do?
Okay. The two easiest ways are from the personal development side as well as the business coaching. That'll be at chriscade.com, CHRISCADE.com. And then for the physical products, hats, mugs, shirts, all the inspirational stuff, that's at themiracles.store, which is kind of an unconventional domain name, but themiracles.store. And the reason why it goes that way is because themiraclesstore.com would have been kind of weird. Like, is it one S? Is it two? Like, saying it out loud is really hard to communicate. So even though that'll get there, the actual domain name is themiracles.store.
Brilliant. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for giving up your precious time to chat to me and chat to everyone that's watching this now, which I can't wait to share this. Brilliant. So thank you very much. And if you didn't get a chance to write down the web address, it will be on the end of the video in a second. So just hold fire and then you'll be able to jot it down and look into what Chris does and how he does it even more. But until then, follow your truth. That's going to become my new catchphrase. There you go. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Chris. Take care. Bye.